Hey, it's me, that pink lady, and welcome to a very special video. Today is the second episode of Build and Report. Woo! Alright, so just in case you haven't watched the first video, Build and Report is a series where I play The Sims, and I tell you what's currently going on in news, whether it's commentary or just things I'm currently interested in. And, just to milk a decaying horse further, this episode is just going to be solely on Mr. Beast. I feel like this guy formed the crux of my channel. I learned how to edit a reviewing a Mr. Beast video. And I'm out of I'm not out of ideas for content per se. I'm in the middle of recording multiple videos and I'm just in a slump. I don't feel like the energy to put out and be entertaining, and it's kind of getting to me. It's like whenever I'm like, okay, I need to sit down, I need to record something because YouTube favors consistency, and if you want to make it, you gotta be consistent, you gotta deliver that, and I can't do it. I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, I'll take a break, I'll read a book, I'll go to the park, I'll watch a video. I can't do it. I don't know what happened. I can't sit down and push myself to be entertaining. So I'm taking a step back. I'm going to my roots. I'm gonna play a bit of The Sims. I don't know if I'll be building. I think I'll be probably creating a sim or something, because I honestly don't even feel like building in The Sims, which is kind of crazy because I love building in The Sims. That's like my bread and butter. But yeah, I'm just not feeling it. So I'm gonna talk about Mr. Beast and the current controversies that's going on with him. So I'm gonna catch you up first. I'm gonna give you the cliff notes of the situation. Basically, a former worker at Mr. Beast, Dogpack404, came out with some allegations about Mr. Beast, saying that, he knew about, Chris and, her situation and, the group chat that she was in. He alleged that he knew. He alleged that Mr. Beast partook in illegal lotteries, which the illegal lotteries was, what every single YouTuber was doing in 2016, which was offering, a giveaway every 3 seconds. And Dogpack404 was alleging that Mr. Beast faked signatures, which I feel like also doesn't have enough evidence behind it. And he also said that his feastable bars weren't that good. And I just feel like the first video that Dogpack404 made was kind of bad and overhyped. Following all of that, Mr. Beast and his team sent him a cease and desist, and the cease and desist, alleged that Dogpack violated his NDA, and Dogpack responded by saying, "Nuh-uh, I'm not gonna do it. I don't care about the cease and desist," and, ended up making a response kind of shorter, roasting Mr. Beast and his entire company. And then later on, he made a second video, because again, the Mr. Beast series is a 3-part series, where he interviewed another former worker. And I don't really want to go into detail about that video, and it's kind of why I refused to make a second video, because these allegations are a lot more serious. They're a lot more heavier in tone. And I don't know how I'd talk about it over Sims audio. It just kind of felt a little disrespectful. But the person that he was interviewing, was honestly so... He took the situation very well. He made jokes off of it, and I don't even know how, but he seemed to take it well, and I think he wants, the story to be spread out there. So I'm going to try my best to talk about it in the most respectful way possible, but, I'm not sure. But, he was, he put down an interview, and, the former employee of Mr. Beast, the second one, not Dogpack404, he alleged that there was an unfinished video that he made with Mr. Beast, and the working conditions on that video were so bad and intense that it violated at points the Geneva Conventions, and at most was comparable to torture methods that the CIA doesn't even let you use on terrorists. They didn't shut off the lights when, the contestant was supposed to sleep. They locked him in a room with, sounds that were so unbearable that, he basically went insane, and they had to cut the challenge short. And they kind of short-circuited him. They didn't give him, I guess the amount that was supposed to be given, and the worker kind of was in a bad, precarious situation. And it was just a horrible situation, and I feel like the second video really, really ramped up, the accusations against Mr. Beast. Like in the first video, you can kind of argue that, they weren't all that bad. They were kind of on the surface. The most damning accusation was that Mr. Beast allegedly knew about Ava Chris Tyson and her situation, and even then, there was not that much elaboration. And allegedly, the third video is going to be all about the poor sexual misconduct in the company. But the second video, the allegations are a lot more damning and a lot more. They make Mr. Beast look like an absolute terrible person. And additionally from that interview, Dogpack404 and Jake Weber, which is the person that's being interviewed, they alleged that there was another person that had bad misconduct with little children, and one that was on, that had official records that stated that, they can't work with children, working at the company, and apparently they were a big person in the company. When the Mr. Beast company makes videos that are directed at children, like the editing is highly, geared towards children, the videos themselves are, ridiculous challenges that I feel like nobody above the age of 13 is going to believe and trust in. They have a chocolate company, they have a burger company, those are all things that appeal to a younger demographic, and having somebody with that record work at a company intended for children is a bad move, and one that Jimmy should have been aware of, and probably was aware of, because again, these are records that are well known. Allegedly, Rosanna Pansino, also an avid critic of Mr. Beast, after she felt as though she was, mistreated and misplaced in a video of Mr. Beast's, she also started collecting evidence against him, particularly those with Squid Games. I touched on those briefly in my past two videos, sort of, on Mr. Beast, and in, she has further proof with the official documents provided by the Mr. Beast company, and they were unprofessionally worded and, overall just in poor taste. And the documents are insanely bad. I remember there's one section from the document that literally states your job as a producer is more important than some things. If there's a building burning on fire and your job as a producer is to secure a Lamborghini, you have to secure the Lamborghini before you can save yourself and others from escaping that burning building. And to use an allegory like that in an employee handbook is crazy. Rosanna insinuates that these producers are overworked, and from the basis of the wording, it definitely seems like it. There's a section, a title in the documents that's entitled "No doesn't mean no," which is a crazy thing to title a section in your handbook, in your employee manual. It's entitled "No doesn't mean no," instead of the importance of persistence. It's no means no is such a clear mockery and play off of a slogan against assault. When people say no means no, it's supposed to be an ideology for consent. If I don't consent to this, don't do this. To name an employee document "No doesn't mean no" kind of insinuates that you're mocking that idea of consent. And as a company that's run by a guy, that's even weirder. That's are you insinuating that you don't believe in consent? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know Jimmy personally. I really hope he does. But to run a huge company, right? The Mr. Beast company basically operates an entire city. It operates all of Greenville in North Carolina, I think. And I just think it's so unprofessional to name something like that. And even the entire section of that document is crazy. That section basically entailed you going, Mr. Beast says, oh, if you want to film at a location and the person says no, keep on pushing. Ask if their kids are fans of my channel. Ask if, you have any managers and those managers are fans of that channel. Go to another location owned by a similar branch and ask them if you can film. And it was that entire situation is, it's not a good idea, because sometimes a store I think Mr. Beast used a dollar store for his example. Like, sometimes they can have a policy that's like, hey, we don't let you film here. And it's a company-wide policy, and if you violate it, you might get fired. And to put your life, like, you know, your job on the risk for a Mr. Beast employee and a producer who's also, their job is on the risk because you have to push and persist in, like, a weirdly titled document, is just crazy. Like, you know, Mr. Beast is such a huge creator with such a big influence. I don't feel like he needs to end up persisting. I feel like, you know, he has a big budget. Mr. Beast says he's losing money on all of his videos, which I don't think is true. We know it's not true. I don't know, to advocate for that is crazy. And I remember, I think Rosanna Pansino alleged this, that like they once had a film shoot and they went to this camp and they completely trashed the whole camp. And this camp had like filth in the water for days afterwards. And, you know, they basically ruined the ecosystem of the place that they were filming in. And I think that's also crazy because Mr. Beast owns two charities. He owns Team Trees and Team Seas. These two companies are total scams. They're not what they claim to be. And I think Dogpack 404 also kind of played into this and kind of alleged this. He said that these companies they don't do anything. Like, all of the money, all of the trees that Team Trees donated, for example, added up to like half of a day of how many trees were actually cut down. And this was a huge thing. They raised a lot of money. So, like, where's that money going? Right? Like, there's no way that with all of that funds you can only plant those amount of trees. And a lot of people are looking into it and saying that this is fishy. And this is more so seen with Team Seas. And Team Seas, the goal of Team Seas was to clean up all of the plastic in the ocean. And like, I think Dogpack alleged this. He said that like, oh, all of the environmental scientists agreed that this is not a problem that can be solved. Like, you can't remove all the trash in the ocean. And then also Team Seas was sponsored by Coca-Cola, which is a company that produces plastic and is typically found in the ocean. So that's kind of weird. And also they didn't clean up any plastic. Like, they cleaned up barely any. It just shows that, I guess, the hypocrisy that Jimmy has, where it's like, you have a charity to clean up plastic, but you also polluted an ecosystem because your overworked producers and you didn't respect, you know, not only the boundaries of the location that you're filming in, because you probably persisted and pushed your way to film in that location, but also you don't have the gall, you don't have any respect to clean up after yourselves. And I think that's really mean. So far, I feel like this is all the information that we're going to have. I don't feel like I want to talk anymore about Mr. Beast and the situation, because I think this is going into not like a haha funny territory anymore. I know that people are memeing on the downfall of Mr. Beast. There's like a lot of meme videos parodying Dogpack 404 series, and I feel like it's fine to parody the first video because the first video was very light in tone. I feel like it wasn't that heavy, but the second video and then the stuff with Squid Games and then the contract, the employee manual, makes this situation, I think it escalates it to a lot, and I definitely sense a lawsuit coming between Dogpack 404 and Mr. Beast and the entire Mr. Beast crew, or a lawsuit that includes, you know, every whistleblower of the Beast Company, every person wronged by the Squid Game series. I feel like Rosanna Pansino might be involved. I sense that there is a lawsuit coming, and I don't know. I think it's kind of sad that, you know, one of the biggest creators on YouTube, one of the most subscribed to, this huge corporation that probably employs a ton of people, you know, one that basically, rules the city of Greenville, is so poorly run and poorly managed. And, you know, this is probably known internally in the company, but not leaked out because, you know, the conditions in that company is seen from the manual, and I think that's really crappy. And I just, you know, I don't feel comfortable further talking about the situation because of how heavy the material is. So that's probably why I'm not going to provide any more updates. But yes, if you enjoyed this series, if you enjoyed Build and Report, I'm not sure how often I'm going to make these. I'm probably going to make these once a month, maybe? I'm not sure. But if you enjoyed Build and Report and you want to see more videos similar to this one, I really appreciate it if you would like this video and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a bunch. I'm hoping to hit 100 subscribers by the end of summer. We only need 13 more by the time I'm recording this, which is amazing. I didn't expect we'd hit 100 subs at all, but you know, here we are, and I'm excited. Also, for anybody that subscribed from the cute core video, I have a lot more videos in that same vein planned. If you enjoyed this video, that's amazing. And yeah, see you next time. Peace.